All right, well, hi there, everyone. This is Scott King, and thanks for joining me and Chris. Hi, Chris, for this next episode of the Union Podcast. Today, we're going to talk about fear of the unknown, right? Because people are talking to us, Chris, about moving, more toward automated processes. They want to try AI, but they're scared, right? And why are they scared? Is this unfounded, or should they be scared or should they not be scared? What are we going to talk about?
Anytime we've had a shift in technology, there's been some fear to process change and how do we do this? How does it affect my job? How does it affect how I do things? Now granted, with the first automated data processing computers, the fact we could send out a water bill or electric bill versus people typing them, that was okay, probably not a lot of fear, but it's no one was thinking, oh my God, the computer's going to take away my job. They're more like, wow, it actually calculated my water bill. This is amazing. But yeah, in today, especially with artificial intelligence, along with process automation, there's a lot of fear because people are like, is this going to take away my job? And honestly, every technology people say that, and it doesn't, right? Ideally, it's going to help enrich your job, make your life a little bit better, so you can get more things accomplished that you want to do versus all the menial things that are not so important, right?
Yeah, no technology eliminated a bunch of jobs, right? Just made those jobs better, just like AI is going to do, right? I use generative AI for all types of things, and it's never 100% right. I still have to go. There's still judgment error. There's still editing. There's still all types of manipulation, but it does get me to a certain point faster than before, right? I've talked about using it to clean up the transcriptions of the podcast and to take out all of our comfort words. And I've developed a new one that I'm trying not to say today. But it does go a lot faster, but there still is that human judgment element. We're not going to send our lives and send our entire job to the computers. That's what people are fearing, right? They're feeling, 100% of what I need to do, I'm going to have AI do. And that's just not the case.
Yeah. And we discussed this, AI by itself does something, but it's applying it to an outcome or a multi-step process. How do we add automation of human tasks and computer tasks together to come to the bigger picture? And here's a great example. I do lots of POCs with customers, and they're like, well, our emails and customer support look totally different than anybody else's. I'm like, they really don't. But so they'll give me 20,000 emails, and I'll run them through Krista. It takes me an hour. So, hey, Krista, please process these. And what we do is we take 20% and we set them aside. We say, okay, we're going to test. You gave us the answer, and this is the email. And we're going to train the ML model with the 80%. And then we go back and say, how well are we doing? How well are we predicting? So people are afraid that we won't get the answer right. And they get hung up on, well, it has to be 100% right. And then it never fails. What I do is I say, okay, here, these 20% here, you'll notice we got a 90% confidence here. And what I noticed, if I actually looked at the emails, the ones that we predicted a different answer than what the human said, it was actually a human error. It's there are flaws when humans do things. So is it the end of the world if we read an email and say, this is an order status or a shipping status? And AI we get really good at that, right? With AI. And then we automate the process of look up the status from the right system and email back. Well, what I'll show people is, okay, you gave me data that was actually flawed. It had human errors inside of this. And maybe it's because they were fatigued. People are multitasking. Maybe they're working in their non-primary language. Errors happen, but it's not shutting down your business today. So it's not like if AI doesn't get 100% today, it's not going to shut down your business either. We may actually do better with the AI because there's certain things we're very good at. And, we're going to do it very fast. We're going to identify, is this an order status or shipping status? Look it up and reply back to an email and close it. It's not perfect today, so don't think that you have to be perfect to apply AI to it. Because what you're doing today is there's going to be some flaws in it.
Yeah, I mean, there's all types of error, right? Because we've shoved all this process knowledge to the people, and we expect people to run, you said outcomes, to run like this multi-step outcome, like for a customer or whatever. That's not 100%. Either people, they get tired, they forget a rule, right? So I bought, I went to go upgrade one phone at T-Mobile, and they said, "Hey, you're eligible for a free phone today." I'm like, how could it be free? I'm like, that's odd, right? So I said, okay, I will not pay for this phone at all, right? No, you won't pay for it at all, blah, blah, blah. A month later, it's like $83 on my bill, right? Because they're making me buy it. Well, it was just human error at the store, right? They mistakenly quoted this sale or this upgrade process. I wasn't eligible. I had to call T-Mobile. I was all tied up. It was a nightmare, right? And that was human error that cost me. I think it's going to end up costing me like, I don't know, $1,000. What does an iPhone cost? But those type of things happen, right? So can you imagine a business leader expecting their people to be 100% right and then move to more automation and then move to more AI? Like you
could actually need 3 people to do an audit and a check on every decision.
Yeah,
right?
you would never get there.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, you would go out of business. Somebody else that is moving more processes to an automated platform and more toward AI will outpace you and take all your customers from you. I mean, that's what would happen.
Yeah. So I thought it was interesting. We looked at an article from Quality Gurus, and they said humans are usually not the problem, even though if you blame something on human error, it means you didn't actually do good root cause analysis. And they said, if you look at the root cause analysis, sometimes it's, someone had the wrong data to make the decision. Maybe they weren't trained, or they didn't have the standard operating procedures of how to accomplish something and do it. So you can't blame it on human error if you didn't set them up for success. Well, then the funny part is, which tell you can't write this stuff, right? They said part of the way to solve that is to actually do better training, which, we get overtrained every day. No one remembers it. Or add automation to actually help do that for you. So, think about it. If you have, I said my safety word. Think about it.
Yeah. I haven't said mine yet.
Yeah, so I did. So, yeah, if you train, say, workflow in software to do something, it's going to do it the same way every time. And then if you ask it to multitask and read 10 emails at once and reply to them, it's fine, because computers are very good at multitasking, and they're very good at following rules. So some of the things that they said to help mitigate problems and processes, we can do with software, and software is very, very good at it. So I thought that was really neat. Those guys probably didn't think about there is a way to actually give people a checklist one at a time through software versus saying, go look at this Excel spreadsheet, or remember to look at these notes, make it easier to find them. So it's usually not human error. There's a root cause below it, and those type of things can be solved with technology. So it's, errors happen, but it doesn't mean you don't try to do better.
Yeah.
You go forward with tech.
So technology, a very expensive technology to alleviate the human error is all the cybersecurity software, right? I mean, 73% of all the breaches are caused by human error, right? Don't click on this. Don't open that. That's, somebody sent me like a WAV file or something today and an HTML file. I'm like, okay, I'm not going to open that, right? It's clearly malicious. But, that's a very expensive, but, from the process automation, it's a no-brainer. Like, you will do this. It's just being comfortable with the change. And that's just human nature, right? We're risk-averse people, right? We have survived by looking, through the bushes and hearing the rustle in the bushes. Is there a lion or a tiger? Because it's going to eat me. So it's just human nature, but it will happen sooner or later. You're just going to have to get over it.
Yeah. And so there's a lot of books on first mover advantage. So if you're the first mover to actually say, start adopting AI to help augment your processes, you'll have a side effect of if you automate more processes, there'll be less human mistakes over there. So outside of just AI making a prediction, all the other checklists, all the other things the machine can do in process automation will actually help reduce your overall level. So we would call that in quality assurance, actually increasing, the level of quality assurance everywhere. So it's definitely, don't get into this fear of if it's not perfect, I can't do it. Because, that's never going to happen. As we tell Scott, what perfect is the enemy of done. So sometimes we have to get
I
things
hear
done.
great is the enemy of good, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll have to
And
look that up.
so-
We didn't prepare for that, so we'll look it up.
Yeah. And so the point is, don't let your competitors or other people surpass you by going on and doing this. Realize we have ways in AI to tell you how confident we are, but realize sometimes it may be more accurate than your people. I get that all the time. And then there's a lot of add-on value of automating the process, the outcome, which is going to help remove those other types of human errors that happen.
Yeah, I mean, you will automate more things, and you can create a gate, right? So if you don't completely trust the process, you can have like a human in the loop type step, have an oversight. But as you watch it, right, and as it helps you make decisions, it's not making the decision, it's helping you, and it's highly confident. You're going to get tired of doing that. And you're like, well, the machine's right all the time, so I don't want to do this step, so have it take over. Then you just move on to the next step. It's not like you're turning everything over, all at once. And I think that's what people fear is there's a black box. I'm going to connect it and like it's going to go haywire. It just doesn't work like that. So in terms of it, as a next step, Chris, if I wanted to, maybe manage my risk. I want to do this, but I'm risk averse. I want to watch it. What type of process is good? Because people ask us about, they want like a private GPT type experience for, human resources or FAQs. Is that a good place to start? Or is the email example that you were talking about, is that a good place to start?
You could start with either. And so the one thing is look at volumes, because when you start looking at these, if you get 1,000 emails a week or you get 10,000 emails a week, taking some of that burden away and answering those, there's big cost savings in doing that. Whether it's customer satisfaction, they're getting answers more, or you're actually, having people go crazy all night long answering emails. So maybe is helpful. If people ask 3 HR questions a week, not so helpful with generative AI. But if you actually have a large workforce that's very, maybe there's a lot of churn, so you get the same questions over and over again, and you don't want HR to always have to answer those, it makes a lot of sense. But either way, there's ways for us to give confidence in the answers, to help gate the security so only the right people see the right things. And it's just a volume game. Like, which is your bigger pain point? Something internal facing or external facing? And then once you're successful with one, you'll kind of gain confidence with the organization. So that means maybe you start with something a little lower risk, lower volume, realizing you want to get the proof internally and then go to the bigger one. That's fine. That maybe that's what management wants you to do. Or the opposite is they're all about ROI. Go with the bigger one first, solve for that, and then walk backwards. So it's your company culture is going to tell you which way to go.
Yeah, I think it'll be obvious, right? I mean, you're not going to jump into a self-driving car without at least like sitting behind the wheel, having your hands on the wheel and making sure that it's doing everything. Same type of deal, right? You wouldn't just get in the back seat. Like, I wouldn't, right? Because that's physical harm. But if somebody answers an email incorrectly, I mean, it's not that big a deal.
Yeah.
All right. Well, so to sum it up, Chris, yes, you will do something. At least I hope you do.
Yeah.
And maybe the first project you do will be obvious because it is a burden. At least it's a subject in a meeting like, hey, we're getting too many emails, or this process always breaks, or hey, this person's always sick. and they have to, submit the supplier invoices or whatever it is, right? Like, how do you escalate that? What, just to kind of sum it up, what someone needs to do, what do they need to do besides obviously, do some more research, and to become comfortable, and then how do they manage their risk?
Okay, so first, don't think you have to hire and do a 12-month study. Just write down 5 things on paper. Like, these are the 5 areas I want to look at. Look at them as terms of volumes, how many you do them, and then what's my risk of not getting them right, because there's going to be human error there. And then stack rank them of which ones you want to go through first. You don't need to spend months and consultants to identify your short list. It's things you do every day. It's things you need to do. And then it's literally saying, okay, we want to apply AI to help answer emails. We want to use AI to, say, make decisions on shipping in a warehouse, because we know historically we can expedite orders or not. Or maybe we apply AI to answer questions that people have about, say, products and recalls that flood our systems.
All right, perfect. Well, I appreciate it, Chris. This was a good short episode. Hopefully we can become more comfortable with our comfort words and get rid of those, and then have the AI do that, right? So we'll just have the AI dub us and remove all of our comfort words, because I don't believe I said mine today. All right. Thanks, Chris.
Bye.